everybody, Ben and Nob here. Today we are spending our day at Universal Studios Orlando to give you a full ride guide. Universal Studios opened its door back in June of 1990 as an official competitor with Disney's MGM Studios, which today is now Disney's Hollywood Studios, just for reference. There's only one official opening day attraction still left in this park. Can you guess which one it is? We're gonna go learn about them all. Let's find out.
The first ride you'll come to after entering into Universal Studios is Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Join Gru, his daughters, and the mischievous minions on an unpredictable ride. You're recruited for Gru's latest scheme, where you'll become an actual minion. But when things don't go as planned, you're launched into an unforgettable trip through the supervillain laboratory. It's heartwarming and humorous family fun for everyone. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem has a height requirement of 40 inches. If your child is under 48 inches, they require a supervising companion. And yes, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem does take Express Pass. Despicable Me Minion Mayhem is an adorable, kid-friendly ride. You can bring your kids on it, there's stroller parking. We think Agnes and the girls are super cute, and they make us smile every single time that we ride the ride. Also, across from Despicable Me Minion Mayhem, there's a new ride going in, Villain Con. It's supposed to open in the summer of 2023, but you know how Universal is with timelines. It's probably gonna be later than that. Let's keep going down Minion Alley and hit it up Rip Ride Rocket.
Next we have Rip Ride Rocket. Now, I have mixed feelings about this coaster, but let's talk about it. This towering coaster offers a musical twist. As you strap in, you'll pick the song you want to hear above your own shrieks. Adrenaline pumping and music thumping, you'll climb toward the sky at a 90-degree angle and tackle the first ferocious drop. Topping out at 65 miles per hour, this roaring ride is a blast from beginning to end. This is clearly a thrill ride. It has a height requirement of 51 inches. Loose articles are prohibited, so you will be going through a metal detector. And finally, yes, it does take Express Pass. Rip Ride Rocket, it is interesting. I can't say it's my favorite coaster by any means. The 90-degree climb just gets me every time. It freaks me out a little bit. But if I can make it past that 90-degree climb, it's all downhill from there, and it is a fun ride to ride. You get to pick a song when you're on this ride, and they have a plethora of options. There isn't a song I've listened to that doesn't work well. It is so fun, and you get to tailor it to how you're feeling that day. One pro tip to share with you, there is a secret playlist. If you're curious on how to access it, ask one of the crew members when you ride it next. We're not jumping on it right now, maybe later today if Ben can talk me into it, but for now, we'll go on to our next ride, which is Racing Through New York with Jimmy Fallon.
Our next attraction is Race Through New York, starring Jimmy Fallon. Face Jimmy Fallon and all your favorite characters from NBC's The Tonight Show in a fun-filled race through, below, and above New York City. Board the unique Flying Theater, and you'll speed through the busy streets of Midtown Manhattan, soar over skyscrapers, and even dive into East River as you hurtle neck and neck towards the finish. Jimmy Fallon's Race Through New York is a motion simulator 3D, 4D experience. It has a 40-inch height requirement, and children under 48 inches require a supervising companion. And yes, Race Through New York does take Express Pass. Oh, Jimmy, you and I do not mix. Jimmy Fallon being a 3D, 4D motion simulator experience doesn't sit with me well. Jimmy Fallon's definitely makes me motion sick and is high on the ranking of the nausea rating for us. It's one that we'll probably ride once a year, but that's about it. But if it's your first time at Universal Studios, it's worth a ride. However, the next attraction on our list is one of our favorites. Let's go head to the Mummy.
We're making making our way through the parks, and we are now at one of our favorite indoor roller coasters. If you're curious to know our favorite rankings of all the rides in studios, go ahead and click the link in the description box after this video where we rank all the rides here. Now, this is the Mummy. It is a fantastic ride. Let's talk a little bit about it. Digging your nails into the safety rail, you'll hold tight as you rush forward and back on the track, fleeing from the evil Mummy Emotep. Just as it seems you might have escaped, you'll plunge straight down into a pitch black abyss with no end in sight. Will you ever see daylight again? Or will you remain sealed inside the tomb forever? This ride is an indoor dark ride. It definitely is a thrill. There's a height requirement of 48 inches, and yes, it does take Express Pass. The Mummy is a great ride. It's an indoor dark roller coaster, and it really catches you by surprise at times. It's one of our favorites in this park, and we highly recommend giving it a shot if you're a roller coaster fan. Also, Brendan Fraser is hilarious, and someone needs to get him his cup of coffee. Let's go to our next ride.
We've arrived at our next attraction, Family Forever, Fast and the Furious. Join Dom and the crew for an immersive Fast and Furious experience. Step into an amazing recreation of the crew's headquarters filled with actual movie props and supercharged vehicles you've only seen on the big screen. Ride along with Dom, Letty, Hobbs, Roman on a street chase in the middle of the high-octane world of Fast and the Furious blockbuster films. Fast and Furious is a motion simulator ride with a height requirement of 40 inches. If your child is under 48 inches in height, they require a supervising ride companion, and yes, Fast and Furious does take Express Pass. Just no. Let's go to the next one.
We've made it towards the back of the park, getting to the London section of things. Right behind me, we have King's Cross Station, which houses the Hogwarts Express. Let's talk about this ride. Travel between King's Cross Station in the London area of Universal Studios, Florida, and Hogsmeade Station in Universal's Islands of Adventure. Each way is a different experience. From the thrill of walking through platform 9 3/4 to seeing characters and creatures featured in the film, this is not your everyday train ride. This ride is child-friendly. It does take Express Pass, and supervising companions are required for kiddos under 48 inches. For all you Harry Potter nerds just like me, riding the Hogwarts Express is something that all of you need to experience at least one time. A big caveat on this ride is you do have to have a park-to-park pass, because not only is it a ride, but it's a form of transportation between studios and Islands of Adventure. So if you're looking to experience the Hogwarts Express, make sure you have that park-to-park access. If you don't, you can buy it at the gate, but it's really convenient to have it in your pocket at that time when you're looking to ride. Speaking of magical stuff, we've got some more magical rides to go explore. Let's do it.
We've made it into Diagon Alley for our next attraction, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts. Enter beneath a massive fire-breathing dragon and journey deep underground in this multi-dimensional ride. As you navigate perilous subterranean vaults, you'll encounter Harry, Ron, and Hermione, but you'll have to evade the wrath of villains Voldemort, Bellatrix, trolls, and other creatures that stand between you and your safe return to Diagon Alley. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is a thrill motion simulator 3D, 4D experience. It has a height requirement of 42 inches, and if your child is under 48 inches, they require a supervising ride companion. There is single rider and child swap available, and it does take Express Pass. Also, loose articles are prohibited, so you'll have to use the locker area if required. If you have a 3-prong fanny pack, you can take that on the ride with you. Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts is an amazing ride. You'll enter in through the queue, and the queue is absolutely beautiful. And then you'll feel like you're going down into the bowels of Gringotts, down into the vaults. The ride is amazing. It's a roller coaster and screens and trolls and dragons and Voldemort. It's amazing. It does get busy though, so try to ride it early. Escape from Gringotts is the only ride in Diagon Alley though, so I guess we're done in this area. Let's go on to the next one.
You can't hear the music, but I'm dancing to it. We've made our way to the very back of Universal Studios, and this ride is one where if you like a little competition, it is for you. Men in Black, Alien Attack. It's a shooter game, and it is fun. New York has been hit by an epidemic of aliens, and it's up to you, agent, trainee, to blast them into oblivion. Use your laser gun to zap those suckers and rack up points before they zap back at you, sending your car spinning out of control. With the fate of the Earth in your hands, you'll become a full-fledged Men in Black agent. Men in Black is a motion simulator ride and a bit of a competition. The minimum height is 42 inches. Kids under 48 inches do require a supervising companion with them. Men in Black does accept Express Pass, child swaps available, and loose articles are prohibited. So if you have loose things, lock them in a locker or use that 3-prong fanny pack. It'll help you out. Men in Black Alien Attack is so fun. Ben and I like to ride it multiple times on our visits because we're competitive and we want to see who the best is. It's very well themed. We love the different aliens, and overall, the AC in this queue is absolutely wonderful. On a hot day, we come back here, jump in line just to cool off. And I think you should too, if you need it. This is the only ride in the back of the park. We gotta make our way over to Simpsons to talk about a few more things over there.
We've made it into Springfield, Krusty Land, Simpsons World, whatever your fancy is. We're in Simpsons World, and we're gonna talk about the Simpsons ride. Join the Simpson family on a trip to Krusty Land. Grab a seat on an indoor simulated roller coaster ride where you'll careen and crash through the park with Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and Maggie in an over-the-top, non-stop, exhilarating adventure. Keep an eye out for cameos from some of Springfield's fan-favorite characters as you adventure through the town. Simpsons Ride is a motion simulator 3D, 4D experience with a height requirement of 40 inches. If your child is under 48 inches, they will require a supervising ride companion. And yes, Simpsons does take Express Pass. Oh, the Simpsons ride. It's a simulator ride where you're looking at basically an IMAX screen. And if you're prone to motion sickness, this one's gonna get you. Definitely gets me, so this is one that we'll probably ride maybe once a year, and probably we've ridden it our one of the year quota. So if you're new to the parks, definitely give Simpsons a shot just to see how you react. However, if you know that you're prone to motion sickness, you've been warned. Our next ride is right behind us. Let's go check it out.
Well, if twirling around during the Simpsons ride didn't make you hurl, maybe the twirl and hurl will. Calling all Earth humans. Kang and Kodos, those hilarious drooling aliens from The Simpsons, have landed at Universal Studios Florida with a ride that'll send you into the stratosphere. Pilot your very own flying saucer, swooping up and down, spinning through space. Make sure to aim your laser for a chance to zap your favorite Springfield citizens. This is a kid-friendly ride with no minimum height requirements. For kiddos under 48 inches, a supervising companion is required, and yes, Express Pass is accepted. King and Kodos is a kid-friendly, Dumbo-style ride. It's very similar to One Fish, Two Fish over at the Islands of Adventure Park, with no water though, which I can appreciate. In fact, I think it's worth giving this ride a go later today.
Full of fries and cheese right now, but boy, oh boy, that was a good lunch. We've made our way out of Springfield, Crustaland, Simpsons World, whatever you want to call it, and we've made our way over to the only opening day attraction still left at Universal Studios, E.T. Adventure. Yeah, that's what it's called. E.T.'s home planet is dying, and he needs your help to save it. Board your flying bike and take off in a thrilling, but gentle, ride through the sky. You'll dodge bad guys and soar into the stars where his magical home awaits, filled with wondrous, otherworldly creatures. E.T. is a motion simulator, kid-friendly ride that has a minimum height requirement of 48 inches. If your child is under 48 inches, they will require a supervising companion. And yes, E.T. Adventure does take Express Pass. Oh, E.T. We love the E.T. ride, as old as it is. It's one that we'll ride every single time we go to the park. The queue is great, the smell is great, however it's changed over the years to some people's chagrin. We didn't really understand the E.T. ride until we took our VIP tour, where we learned that the E.T. ride is actually a sequel to the E.T. movie. During the movie, E.T. comes to Earth in order to help repopulate his planet of all the vegetation and things like that are dying on his home planet. In the ride, he returns back to his home planet with all the things he's learned. And sure enough, E.T. saves the day with your help. Towards the end of the ride, you meet some of E.T.'s friends. And his friends are a bit creepy. Magdoll is something you'll see in your nightmares if you're not careful. However, definitely worth a ride. We hope E.T. isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Our final ride is in the New York section of the park. Let's go check out Transformers.
We are at our last ride of our ride guide here in Universal Studios, and that is Transformers. Megatron and his villainous Decepticons want to rule the Earth. Board your Nest vehicle and join Optimus Prime and Bumblebee in an ultra-immersive thrill ride that blurs the line between fiction and reality. Fight to keep the Allspark out of Megatron's hands in an explosive battle between the Autobots and the Decepticons. We're counting on you. Roll out. This ride is a motion simulator 3D, 4D experience. The minimum height requirement is 40 inches, and kiddos under 48 inches need a supervising companion with them. Express Pass is accepted and Child Swap is available. Transformers is a similar ride setup to Spider-Man over in Islands of Adventure. We love Spider-Man, but Transformers, it's not our top favorite. It's not a bad ride. However, what Ben and I tend to notice is that there's a lot of action and loud noises and explosions and a robot's name, and then you move to the next scene. And then it's a lot of explosions and loud noises and a robot's name, and you move to the next scene. It's really hard to really tell what's going on, and if you're not a Transformers fan, you might get a little bit lost. The ride queue is interesting, and there's buttons and things to press and push, which I have fun with. But overall, is it our favorite ride? No. Is it worth giving a ride at least once? Yeah, but don't wait, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes or more. Like, I wouldn't do that if you're just not into it. Those are all the rides in Universal Studios. That said, you've made it this long, we have 2 honorable mentions that we want to point out. So we're gonna head over to Hollywood and talk about those next. This is a Studios ride guide, but we couldn't wrap it up without our 2 honorable mentions. Both of these are attractions, they're not rides. But it felt like we couldn't leave them out. And one of them is the Horror and Makeup Show. It is an excellent show filled with so many cool Universal Monsters horror facts and makeup techniques. You gotta go to it if you've never been. It is funny, it is scary, it is great. We really love this experience, and we think you would too. The second attraction is the Bourne Stuntacular, just down the way from the Horror and Makeup Show. The Bourne Stuntacular is so much action, it is impressive. It is so cool to see how the actors on stage maneuver themselves and just generally how Universal has set up the entirety of the show. Now, I will note it is very loud at times, so the next time I go, I actually might bring earplugs with me just to make it a little bit more comfortable. But that said, it is a great show that folks should pop into as well. Thanks for joining us to learn about all the rides here at Universal Studios Florida. If you're interested in finding out about the rides over at Islands of Adventure, check in the description box. We will link that video below.
If you got anything out of this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Stick around for more Universal content. Thanks for watching.
Bye!